In this video, I'm going to break down a viral YouTube video to determine why it's so popular and why it's continuing to grow. We're going to break this up into 3 sections, starting off with the title, thumbnail, and the overall idea of the video. Then we're going to break down the hook that led to this video's virality. And finally, we're going to talk about the different storytelling elements that go into keeping the viewer engaged and watching until the end. So let's jump right into it, starting off with the title, thumbnail, and idea breakdown. So the video that we're going to be breaking down today is I Learned Extreme Camouflage to Escape Special Forces. Now, right off the bat, it's a standout idea. The first thing that I think about when I hear this title is, what is extreme camouflage? That, partnered with a realistic looking thumbnail, really just piques my curiosity. And then instantly you're met with some extremely high stakes of escaping special forces. Not just the military, not just police, but special forces. I think that this is further emphasized with the boot that's in the foreground of the thumbnail. Most people, at least in America, would instantly tell that this is a military style boot. Let's say this video is titled, I Learned Extreme Camouflage. Do you think without those stakes that the video would perform quite as well? Definitely not. Now, what I absolutely love about this thumbnail is that it's a genuinely realistic look at what extreme camouflage can look like. Some of the other thumbnails in the category just don't seem realistic, right? For example, the police one right below, it's kind of unrealistic that the policeman isn't going to notice that someone's in their chair. Another example of this is this brick thumbnail right above, where it's just kind of the pattern of the t-shirt. That's just not what a realistic idea of extreme camouflage would really be like, right? Overall, this video is just a simple game of hide and seek. That's something that anyone in the world can relate to. Now, let's break down the hook.
Matthew.
Hold on. Do you guys see that? We're just 2 seconds in and already so much has happened. Let's take it back. You can already tell in the very first frame that there's already some movement going on with the camera. This is really helping to draw the viewer in and really focus their eyes on what the editor wants them to see.
Matthew.
Then you instantly get the satisfaction of seeing the thumbnail come to life within the video. You instantly get that gratification of seeing what extreme camouflage looks like right at the start. Viewers know that this is the video that they want to watch because it's literally a replica of the thumbnail.
I'm currently a tree. Let me explain. The other day, I was playing hide and seek with my local
And look at that. We're just 6 seconds in, and yet the viewers are already so engaged, right? If we rewind, you're going to notice that there are 4 different camera movements in the first 5 seconds. That means that each one is right around just a little bit over a second long. Look.
Matthew.
1, 2.
I'm currently a tree. Let me explain.
3,
the other day, I was playing hide and seek with my local
4.
police department.
Alright, 6 seconds. Still. Not only that, but they also introduce a ton of different sound effects to help keep the viewer engaged.
Matthew.
You can hear crickets in the background. You hear wind rustling of
Let me
the
explain.
plants.
The other
You're going to notice that just a couple seconds into the video, they're already going to add some intense stakes to it.
day, I was playing hide and seek with my local police department, but now the U.S. Special Forces want to turn. So we're gonna see how good they really are at tracking people, because as you can tell, Jens and I are going all out.
We're in it to win it. I don't mess around.
The Special Forces have...
So 15 seconds in, you're already shown a couple different versions of the extreme camouflage that they're talking about. In addition to that, you're already introduced to some stakes saying that the special forces are going to be hunting us down. And the viewers are staying engaged through various sound effects and various graphic elements to help draw the viewer in. So if we look back,
the police department, but now the U.S. Special Forces want to turn. So we're going to see how good they...
Not only is there an explosion in the background of the U.S. Special Forces, but there were some sound effects to help introduce them as well.
Because as you can tell, Jens and I are going all out.
We're in it to win it. I don't mess around.
The Special Forces have 1 hour to find us on this massive farm. And whichever team loses the challenge has to pay for dinner tonight.
Oh man, this is insanely uncomfortable.
And seconds 15 to 20, they're really introducing the challenge and introducing the stakes to the video. You know that 3 people are going to be hiding out somewhere on this large farm, and that the U.S. Special Forces only has 1 hour to find everybody. You also find out that the loser of this challenge ends up having to pay for dinner. That's just a real world stake that helps bring the viewer in and keep them watching for longer.
Team loses the challenge, has to pay for dinner tonight.
Oh man, this is insanely uncomfortable.
So with that in mind,
In addition to introducing the characters, introducing the challenge, and introducing the stakes, you also get to see someone being captured for the first time. This helps show that, hey, the US Special Forces didn't just wander around the whole time, but they actually got to digging in, they actually were able to find some people. This helps you understand that, no, it wasn't just a blowout for one team or the other, but that's going to be some back and forth going on. At Second 21, they raise the stakes even more by showing you what it's like to be captured. It's going to be uncomfortable and not very fun, so it's something that everybody's going to try and avoid. Then, right before the 30-second mark, you're introduced to the idea of extreme camouflage. They actually hired in a professional makeup artist to do the makeup for the video. This just shows that the YouTuber was trying to go to extreme lengths to try and not get caught. And rightfully so, because he's against the US Special Forces. And right away, they show you exactly what the extreme camouflage is going to look like. And you get to see how extreme it really is. And right at the 1 minute mark, they kind of finish the hook. That's when they really start getting into the challenge and really diving into things. One thing that you'll notice early on is the amount of detail that they went into actually doing the extreme camouflage.
Gotta save the bark so that we can just put it all over my face.
This kind of helps the viewer come for longer because they want to know exactly what it'll finish like. What you guys are going to notice throughout this video is that when something starts dragging on or taking a little too long and gets a little boring, they're going to turn up and pivot. They're going to start focusing on a new subject and bring in a whole new storyline.
Guys, we're gonna see if this bad boy right here.
So they introduce the next character and a little bit about their spot, but then they're going to end up coming back to him later on. So right around the 1 minute and 30-second mark, they introduce the third character on the YouTuber team. And he's actually got a crazy idea that I think really helps re-engage viewers.
You guys like trees, Kendall, I guess, likes trash. So my disguise today is going to involve a horse.
Are you serious?
Side strap to it. I have a blanket around it. It'll be wrapped around this horse.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna be mobile.
These are stationary. Dude, a whole new meaning to the word Trojan horse.
This is just a weird, crazy, kind of insane idea that helps re-engage the viewers again. People want to know, hey, what is this horse thing going to look like? And is it actually going to work? So we are 4.5 minutes into this video and the challenge is just now starting. Well, how did the YouTubers do that? It's really about what we talked about in the hook. Overall, there's one main idea for the video, but then throughout the video, they introduce new small storylines to help keep the viewers engaged. So they introduce each of the different hiding spots and the challenges that might come along with that. Now that the special forces are on site, they actually talked about how they're going to be using no equipment, which just raises the stakes even more. And they talk about how much area that the special forces need to cover in just a short amount of time. This is really a daunting task for the special forces and makes viewers think, hey, are they going to be able to do it? You know, those hiding spots were really good. At least that's what I was thinking. Even with the special forces just clearing out a warehouse, they're still introducing new story elements and helping keep the viewer engaged. They add voiceovers to help tell a story of what the special forces are doing and what they're thinking. I love it. You don't know this yet, but there's so much foreshadowing going on too. Earlier they talked about the open field not being suspicious. Then they talked about the double checking different areas and they showed the trash can boy, which I'm sure we'll see in a little bit. But there's just so many different story elements coming together to bring this video to life.
It's just too hot in here. I can't stay in here any longer.
Right there, that's another story element. The character is talking about the challenges he's facing while in his position. You know as a viewer that, hey, if he leaves, he's probably going to get caught. But if he stays, well, that might be unsafe because it's so hot.
Need to quickly get to the house.
Are you sure I'm outside right now? Please don't check the trash.
Hold on.
There it is. There it is. There was the foreshadowing I was telling you about. The first guy lifted it up and just walked past. But because they double checked, they ended up finding the character. These are just some funny elements that add to the story.
Weird feelings. There's something going on around here.
dude, how on earth does he know?
That's another little bit of foreshadowing. Special force officers can just tell. They have a sixth sense that something's going on in that open field. Again, that was mentioned earlier in the story. Now, Because the Special Forces guy is talking about pretty much the exact hiding spot of the next character, well, this just helps draw viewers in to see, they want to see what happens.
Does to you.
That was just another great way to re-engage viewers. Even though you couldn't necessarily tell as a viewer, the editor really wants you to know that, hey, the Special Forces guy just walks right next to one of our characters. I think that cough wasn't exactly at the right time, but it was still a great editing move to try and help keep the viewer engaged. They think, oh shoot, did the guy with extreme camouflage just make a mistake?
Found one on the horse, backside of the property. We found one in the trash can, front left part. So the northeast would be the spot. I would think they try to be as far as possible. That would make sense.
But after finding Jeffrey, I'm left as the last one.
There's a lot to unpack right there, all right? The Special Forces guys are just so intuitive that they're kind of foreshadowing the story before it even happens, which is really cool to see, and I'm sure it helped the editor out a lot when trying to tell this story. Along with that, in the background, there's different kinds of music to help change the mood. Earlier, when people were searching, we heard a little bit higher, fast-paced things. Now that they're slowing down and thinking, we're hearing a different type of music. Adding the time limit as well makes there be a constant pressure for the Special Forces. This helps elevate the stakes and really make sure that, hey, there's a time limit, it's crunch time, they gotta go. This helps re-engage the viewer every time that's brought up. Notice how you're hearing a lot of voiceovers after the fact. This has really helped telling the story of what happens. The viewer might not have realized that, hey, the two Special Forces guys just split off from where they were going. So he was really just seconds away from being found. God, these Special Forces guys, all their commentary is really just helping tell the story a little bit more. They talk about their emotions, talk about what they're feeling, and what it feels like to be searching in crunch time. With every minute that it drops down, the stakes are elevated even more, and the viewer really wants to know, hey, what is gonna happen here? He is right there.
Don't move.
I was that bored that gave him away.
Got him. Oh my gosh, that's the ring stuff, dude. 6 minutes to kill. Are you serious? 6
And with
minutes.
just 6 minutes left, the Special Forces were able to find the YouTubers. That really just kind of helps round out the stakes because it really got until the very end before the Special Forces were able to find them. So it kept the viewer engaged pretty much the whole time. So this YouTube video went viral because overall it was just a really good video to watch. There was a ton of different elements that helped build up the story and helped really keep viewers engaged throughout the whole time. If you got value from this video, you might like to check out this one up here. Goodbye.